Take a piece of that. Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, and welcome to Salam Café, another fun-packed show brought to you by the Muslim community of Melbourne, inshallah, God willing. I'd like to introduce a couple of people on the panel, and I'd like to start off and ask you a question, Mr. Asad Ansari.
Yes, Mr. Ahmad Imam.
What is happening with that shirt? You've worn it a couple of weeks now, and it still hasn't been ironed.
Yeah,
It's a very rugged T-shirt.
Rugged. Well, a very rugged man.
What about, you're looking like a Lebanese Ricky Martin.
Now we're just getting personal. We're getting personal now.
That isn't rugged, it's this
Come on,
thin
Assad.
white thing with a little...
There's nothing wrong with my T-shirt.
Assad, man, a bit of professionalism wouldn't go astray. We will make an effort.
You're insulting hijab, man. It's
No,
creative.
I'm sure it was a bit neater than that when it got sent over.
We're insulting you for not ironing the thing.
Speaking of that man who always has a nicely ironed shirt, Mr.
Yeah.
Ahmed Hassan, salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. We've got a good show today all about education and literature.
Well, that does sound fun.
It is, kids, it is.
So which one are you, Waleed? Education or literature?
Neither.
Fantastic.
No. But what I want, actually, can I do something just quickly?
Yep.
I had a viewer speak to me sometime a while ago, and they were convinced we don't have real coffee in our mugs. Right? And the evidence was they never see steam coming out of it. Now, it might be pretty hard to get on camera, but can we get a shot of this? Can you see this steam?
Zoom in.
It's real steam.
I think we're going to need, yes, this camera. Can you see that at all?
No, you can't.
No,
you
Hold
can't.
it still.
Just stop moving.
You're moving it.
Okay, so
Anyway, it's far too
Stimulus.
hot. All right, well, that was just a waste of
That
time
didn't
then.
work,
Prove it.
did
Put
it
your
at
finger
all?
in, we want to see.
And leave it there for a minute.
So it's real coffee.
We believe you. I can see the TV.
yeah, here's my evidence. See? This is the real
Tea
deal.
tonight, no coffee. You've had your coffee.
Yeah, I've had enough coffee. Yes.
We'll jump over you.
Yes.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Brother Ahmed. How are you?
Good. What's the badge you're wearing here?
What's that all
This
about?
says reading rocks because reading is actually very cool. And it was part of a book week program that we had at our school, the school where I work at, and trying to encourage more kids and people, mums and dads, to just read books.
Actually, it's funny that you bring that up. I'm a bit of a book nerd. I know.
You are?
I know my cool exterior may not actually allude to that fact that I am. But speaking of reading, I heard the most interesting thing. Now, everyone's got different approaches, I suppose, to letting the wider community know about Muslims and normal people. A library in Sweden has got a new spin on the borrowing system, and they're actually renting out or loaning out an imam and a Muslim woman for 45-minute things. You can go up with your library card and borrow the imam or the Muslim woman. Let's have a bit of a chat. In the interest of breaking down stereotypes, we've got other often maligned types of people, journalists, animal rights activists. So, yeah, but if anyone wants to borrow an imam, just ring up your local mosque. No, don't do that.
What's the fine if they're overdue?
I don't know, but see, you don't even have to go to the library. You want to know about Islam and Muslims, you can just watch our show.
So does the imam have a barcode or something?
And if you try to leave the library with him, he starts beeping.
What if you accidentally scribble on him when...
I don't know.
Has he got a Jewy discipline?
Anyone else got any library gags?
One.
Assad, got any library gags?
No, I was dying at that point.
I thought that quite funny.
Anyway, we've got
That's amazing.
I know, it is.
That's a great
You might see here, so go and ask your local librarians if you can borrow a Muslim woman. Sounds a bit saucy. Anyway.
Let's not go there, but let's go to Salam Café to go. They've always got something interesting / funny.
This is a tasty episode, this one.
You've obviously seen it. Let's go and have a look, and we'll see what it's all about. Last week we had a look at prayer, and this week tasty must be about food.
This is real
More
cafe.
Lebanese breakfast.
Real cafe to go.
Let's go and have a look and see what it's all about.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Oh, that's good. Look, I'm really hungry. I was wondering if I can, come over to your house for something to eat. Okay, and can I, bring 2 of my friends with me?
Okay, yep, cool.
Okay, cool. I'll see you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, wa alaikum salam. Mom, we're getting visitors!
Well, I'm starving. What's to eat? I can't be bothered cooking. I called my brother Tariq. Assalamualaikum, Tariq. How are you, bro? Yeah, not too bad. Look, I'm real hungry and I can't be bothered cooking. You reckon I can come over? You got anything cooked? Alright. Oh, look, don't trouble your mum. Alright, man, no, that's good. Alright, cool. I'll be there in about 2 minutes. No worries. Yeah, 2 minutes. Alright. Assalamualaikum. Walaikum salam. Mum, Nazim's coming for dinner. Mum, Nazim's here.
Oh, good, he can help you cook.
Oh. Hey, Assalamualaikum. Alhamdulillah, alright. Oh, it smells good. Take off your shoes? Yeah, alright. Come through. Well, Assalamualaikum. Just some blood and some dinner.
Great.
So what are you saying about you?
Nazim, I'm gonna get something for you. Hey, no way. Woo! No way. Go ask my house, whatever. Actually, so I can't send your hand here. So you can't. Too natural. Well, let's go get some food.
That's good.
I'm not quite finished yet. Girls, do you want to sit down? Boys, can you come and help me, please?
Oh, we don't know what to do. We don't even know how to do stuff.
I'll show you how to do it.
Okay, yes, for some Lebanese dessert, I've got cornflakes and here's ice cream.
Don't forget the strawberries.
That was so funny. And the Z-Man, deep, reading Al-Ghazali, then getting into that heavy tabla.
I know.
And he really drummed up an appetite there.
I want to see the food.
What's with,
I want to eat the food.
what is with you Lebanese and your cornflakes? There really is something going on.
Tradition. Tradition. I do not understand.
That mum,
I don't
man.
either.
Professional
I know, I'm so
Lebanese
hungry.
mum, man. What a beautiful dinner there.
I gotta say, there is something about Arabs can cook.
Oh.
And not only when they do.
Arab
Yeah.
ladies, don't think the guys can
Yeah,
cook. It's just the
no,
ladies.
but when they do it seriously. Like, I reckon, from my Egyptian background, A serious Egyptian meal is when it looks no different after everyone's eaten than it does before. Like,
It's a labour of love.
you make no
And
impression.
it takes about 3 days to prepare too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I always used to starve myself before actually going to my Lebanese friends'
Yeah,
house.
you have to. You've got it.
Definitely worth the wait, exactly like our next guest.
Yep.
Catch her after the break.
Someone is
Reading rocks, and it's all related. We'll be back after the break.
There is a
I'd like to welcome to Salam Café the author of this very interesting book, Randa Abdel-Fattah. It's very hard to actually read and look and see it at the same time. Does my head look big in this?
Yes, it does actually.
It would, wouldn't it? It would, wouldn't
You
it?
can't go to the trouble of actually memorising the guest's name.
I should have written it on the back, shouldn't I? Just to make it easy. Sorry for that very embarrassing introduction.
You can imagine with a name like that, how many variations I get.
Yeah, the hyphenation.
Yeah.
So you're not actually Amal Abdul Hakim as depicted in the book?
No.
Actually, I want to ask something about this. This is such a good book. I read it in a day. I know. It's unputdownable. How much, and the whole time I was reading, I was wondering how much of it's autobiographical, how much is maybe experiences of friends, how much is it work of fiction? I know it's a personal question, but I just wondered, you know.
Oh, it's a fair enough comment. All my family's been asking me, do you really have a crush on a guy called Adam?
Yes, that was our next question.
It was greatly autobiographical because I was really relying on a lot of my own experiences growing up, and especially I went to a Catholic primary school like the main character. I moved on to an Islamic college. I never went to a private school, so that was based on experiences of my friends. But I also based it a lot on what my friends had gone through, and I mean, it was so much fun to write. It was.
And just reading the book, it was like someone had taken my journal and then just tucked it and changed the name. And I went to school in Camberwell, and the character does as well.
Oh, that's right.
So there's a part that says I was too embarrassed to walk with my parents down Riversdale Road. And I was like, oh my gosh, I used to catch the tram up and down. It was so exciting.
Yeah, it's so realistic. It really is.
And some of the, I think every one of us knows some of the characters. You've got the real cultural characters, then you've got the ones who are trying so hard to assimilate.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun because what I wanted to do was to show readers that there is such a diversity of Muslims and so many different interpretations. We're not a monolithic block. We're not some, undifferentiated mass.
Look at us.
There's so many different colours, and that's why I had, the devout family, the extreme interpretations of Islam, the family who try to assimilate, so they anglicise their name, they peroxide their hair, they say fair income and struth, and they've got this heavy Arabic accent.
It's true. It's true.
You do that very well.
I love it.
No, that's just my cousin.
And the book's been so popular, hasn't it? Like, it's selling out.
It's going really well. It was released in bookstores on the 1st of August, and it's really being picked up by schools. And when I wrote, actually, when Looking for Ali Brandy was released, I was in year 9.
Ali Brandy.
Yeah.
Ali Brandy.
We went to Arabic.
Ali.
Really? That Muslim? Really? I've got to get the phlegm working. It was released when I was in year 9, and I actually sat down in front of the computer and I thought, I'm going to write the Muslim version of Looking for Ali Brandy.
It is amazing you say that because Susan, when she read this book, and I knew when she was reading it, believe me, because she wouldn't stop telling me, she just said that this is the Muslim equivalent of Looking for Ali Brandy. So you've obviously succeeded.
And if anybody doesn't know, Looking for Ali Brandy was it was based on an Italian character and family, and also very similar in that it was very cultural and how to live in an Australian
It's about
society.
identity.
Exactly. And
In fact, this book's probably one of the first, I'd say, in terms of the Muslim community, and their experience in Australia.
I'll tell you a funny story, because I saw this huge gap. The only time there were Muslim characters were when there was an honour killing or someone escaping the Taliban. That was the only books out there. And when I wrote this book, I thought, why hasn't someone done this? I've got to do this. Someone's going to get the idea quick. And I tried to get an agent to get a publisher for me. And I was ringing around trying to get agents. And I spoke to one agent, and I explained the basic premise of the book, and she still had the gall to ask me, yeah, but is there an honour killing in it?
You know, that's like J.K. Rowling, because when she first sent out copies of Harry Potter, a few people said not interested, and now look at it, you're like the Muslim version of that. Oh, really? Like that age would be kicking himself now.
Let me get straight. Looking for Ellie Brandon meets Harry Potter in a headscarf.
Look, the point is that agent will be kicking himself now. Doesn't that feel good?
And at the Melbourne Writers Festival?
Yeah,
that's right.
What is the Melbourne Writers Festival?
Well, it's sponsored by The Age, and it's a whole series of sessions with writers, and I'm doing 2 sessions in the schools program, and I'm doing them with Margaret Clark and Morris Gleitzman and Arnold Zabel.
He's cool.
Yeah, he rocks.
And does my head look big in this? It's a book about a teenage girl growing up in Australia, and yeah, the audience, it's aimed at young and old. I mean, and it's accurate. I would take it from us. This is what real Australian Muslims are about.
But let's be honest, it's a chick book, isn't it?
No!
This is the response. No. So obviously it is.
I want to ask you, I mean, obviously the success must just be blowing your mind, but where do you go from here?
I'm writing my second book, and I signed up a second book with Pan Macmillan.
So it's going to be like a J.K. Rowling, is it?
No.
Can we ask about it, or is it still under
No,
wraps?
you can ask about it. It's, this time I'm writing about a Sydney Lebanese Muslim girl, and I want to explore the other end of the spectrum. So girls who, in the midst of the war on terror and the headlines and the stereotypes, they actually retreat to the safety of being anonymous. So they anglicise their names, and the character goes from Jamila to Jamie, and she peroxides her hair.
So that is a reverse.
Yeah,
because that's the reality experience too.
Yeah.
That is what's happening for a lot of people too.
Yeah, not everyone has the courage to stand up for who they are, so I wanted to explore that. And and I got a deal with a UK publisher as well, Scholastic, so it's going really well. I think it's such a topical
It is.
because
It's
of what we're going through.
It really is.
And it's an international scenario because kids in the UK, Muslim kids, or in the US, just growing up in the West, it's an international scenario.
Except that in the US you've got to have a prom. Seriously, prom is apparently a really big thing.
Yeah,
a really big issue.
You cover so much stuff in the book. Like, I think nearly every question that someone would have wanted to ask a Muslim is indirectly answered in that book.
Was it hard balancing including the information that needed to be included and you wanted to include it without sort of, because you never in any way come across as preachy or like you're trying to push talking about religion. It just seems to flow in so seamlessly. Was that difficult, or was it?
Not at all. The way I did that was I made a decision to write a funny book, and I thought the only way I can convey serious issues without being preachy and by making it as accessible and entertaining as possible for young kids and old is to make it as funny as possible. So
and you didn't hold back. I mean, the language in there, and it's stuff that you're hearing out there.
It's like real teenagers talk. And that's what teenagers are like. It's the reality. Yeah.
I've got to say, before the show, Imam was doing a bit of research, and he was trying to narrow down who Adam was, because he was thinking of all Islamic schools.
Actually, I rang your mum, had a chat with Auntie Mona, and we'll talk about that off air, I think.
But it is so well written. It really is a credit. So
we're so proud of you. I know that might sound condescending, but we really are. It's just fantastic. And hopefully we'll have you back for your second book.
I'd love to.
I think you'll have to forget about law now. Just keep those books coming.
How are you balancing that? You're more focused on this show doesn't go to Sydney, so you're pretty safe if your boss is listening.
No, my boss
You can tell us.
They keep asking me, but the way I did it was I wrote most of it on the way to work on the train, and and I'd come home and I'd say to my husband, "Can you make dinner? I'm writing."
Put it on the couch.
So he must have been really keen that you're actually doing another book. He must have been right behind you, love.
It's awesome.
Mind you, with the trains in Sydney, you've got plenty of time.
Oh yeah. I could have written the sequel, on my way to work.
And you're having a baby. Is it hard juggling writing and publicising and writing festivals, gestating?
Tell her it's very easy, because she keeps on saying, "I can't do my thesis," etc.
It's exhausting, but
Yeah.
it's fun. Like my baby's due December the 24th, and my second book's due in
How'd
December.
you make it one more time?
Congratulations.
Wow. So you're sort of giving birth to a book and a baby around the same time.
That's right.
That's awesome.
I want to know, do you think some TV show would actually pick it up and run it as like a, mini-series or
Well,
something
we've
like
had interest from people.
Oh my
interested in
gosh.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Well, don't forget your friends.
yeah. Somehow I've suddenly got a lot of friends.
How about the girl on the cover? Do you know her?
Yeah, she's my friend in Sydney. Hi, Sasha.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So-
she's Egyptian Polish, and I chose her because she has a large extended family, so I knew I'd get more sales. Yeah.
What Egyptian/Arab family doesn't have a large family? Let's be honest here. Look, we have to wrap it up there. That was absolutely fantastic. We look forward to the next one.
Yes. Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
We better cut it there, and great. So
And
does my head look
you
big
can
in
find
this?
it at all good bookstores, and there'll be a link to a little bit about the book on our website.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
See you for book number 2.
Yeah.
We'll be back after the break. That was fantastic. My God, our guests just get better and better all the time.
I know.
She was fantastic.
How did we get these things?
Now, if anybody hasn't read this, they have to go out and get it, whether you are a young Australian Muslim, whether you're an old Australian Muslim, or a person who doesn't have anything to do with Muslim people. You've got to go out and read it. It's so cool. And I mean, I could just go on about it forever because this is my life.
Yeah,
in
it
here.
really is.
My parents weren't as cool as hers, I've got to say, even though I love you, my mum. But
You're in trouble
I
now.
asked her off air, and she said her parents were this cool.
They
so.
were very cool parents.
Yeah, they
they were
were.
really just, they were down with it. It was, I like the way she represented lots of different parents. Like there were the nutty parents
She
and the
did.
overly involved parents and the cool parents. So everyone can relate to someone.
Definitely.
So a big shout out to all the kings at King Khalid Islamic College in Coburg, which I'm sure the Al Hadaya School was based on, because Randa's mum's actually the assistant principal. So if you want a cool principal,
Yeah, she's cool.
You're doing well. You're doing well. Now, Asad, you actually got a bit of a treat for us.
I do.
We're upping the culture, aren't we?
I'm going to be reading from Randa's book. I should say,
Reading.
before I do this, Susan and Declan has selected the passage I'll be reading from, so I don't know what it is. I'm a little bit scared.
fun.
But
This is a good example of what a 16-year-old Muslim girl thinks like, and you'll probably realise all 16-year-old
That should
girls
suit
think
us
like.
I'm right. Very worried right at this moment. I can tell
Just
you.
try to read it as though it's not the Tax Act.
okay, I'll do my best. So, can you make it for coffee tonight? Eileen asks me on the telephone the following Thursday. I can't bear to sit through another night manicuring my nails with Craig David, so I say yes. My dad drops me off and I beg him to turn down his Greatest Hits of Jerusalem album when we turn the corner into Burke Road. You used to love this music when you were young, he says, pinching my cheek. Dad, far out. I'm like 16. Get over it.
Yeah, over it, Dad.
Yeah, that rolled off the tongue.
Instead, he starts to sing a song about meeting his secret darling love under a tree in the olive groves. Just remember, he says as I get out of the car, before Kylie, Rico Martin and these blonde boys singing like Barretts, you were singing songs about olive groves and mountains too. I roll my eyes at him and he bursts out laughing. Have fun, ya Amal, and don't be late, it's a school night. You get dropped off not 1 second later than 10:30, or else I dial 000. Not your mobile, 000. Like I'm really going to be kidnapped when most people are looking at me and wondering whether I've got an AK-47 rifle inside my jean jacket. So,
I've got to stop you there, mate. I could go on all night, but we've got a schedule.
there's an awesome bit.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Read the
really
book
made
and
me
get to the awesome
believe
bit.
let's
that you
continue
were,
this week. I think.
Yeah, we should make a cereal.
Very quickly,
Yeah, now,
emails. You've got about a
Culture,
minute.
man, culture.
Just quickly, you want to do the question?
Yes, remember everyone, the question, since we had a few fisticuffs last week about it, you've been given extra time to answer the question, what is the most interesting place that you've prayed? We don't care what religion you are, background, creed, race, colour, whatever. Just get the emails in because these guys are just going to go mental otherwise.
Now, speaking of emails, there are just a couple. We said if
You saw the wind up and you did that on purpose, didn't you, mate?
What?
The guy's winding up. We've got about 10 seconds to go. I have to cut the show here.
I'd have finished it by now. Oh, well, that's it. All right, no, guys. That's all right.
We'll see you next week.
You've got to cut. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. Okay, Salam. Good night.
See you next week. Bye the book.